Hey. So we're Musio. In a former life, I spent about 10 years as a working DJ and musician. In that time, I would spend a lot of time in my bedroom producing music, making music on my computer, which is something a lot of people do nowadays, if you don't believe it. In that time, one of the hardest problems which I had was being able to get feedback on my music. I would sit there day and night, spending entire weekends sitting there writing music. But after I wrote it, I had no idea what to do with it. I had no idea whether it was any good or not. So I would do the usual thing. I'd send it to a few people, try to get some feedback, but I never really got enough feedback to really understand, am I on the right track with what I'm doing? Which is one of the problems a lot of veteran producers face nowadays, which is how to get good feedback on your music. There you go. So nowadays, what a lot of musicians do is that they will tend to upload their music to several services like these. They'll upload them, they'll send them to their friends, and they'll wait to hear feedback from people. But having said that, what they're doing is wrong. For one very good reason, because the feedback you're getting, you don't actually know if it's any good or not. You're pretty much putting out there to the general public and waiting for some good advice. If anyone's been on YouTube, you don't read the fucking comments. So don't read the goddamn comments on what people say about your music, because it's probably going to be shit. Also, SoundCloud as well. It's not particularly good feedback. That's nice, that's great, that's crap. You know what? You can't really do a whole lot with that. Which is why we want to build Musio. Musio is about bridging the gap between amateur musicians and professional advice to help them make better music. So what we've created, there's a website that's going to help emerging aspiring artists connect with established professional artists to get great advice in the music so they can understand how to make it better. What we also have is a platform that's actually going to be driven by the strength and the quality of the reviewers on that platform. But then also the reason why we have an advantage is because we also have a really deep connection and a really good understanding of both these user groups, from both the artists but then also the professional reviewers as well. This is my team here. So I'm Mal. I've been working as digital marketer for quite a long time. Also Ollie Young, our CTO, Joseph Marafetti, our designer, and also with Luke Schofield, our iOS developer. In the last 54 hours, we've built a functioning web app, an iPhone application, and started working on an iPhone application and an iPad app. On all these systems, an artist can go in there, create a profile, and upload their music. After they upload their music, they can browse a list of reviewers and identify the ones who best suit their needs and can help them take their music to the next level. They then choose that reviewer and send the music to them. The reviewer then accepts that project, that assignment, and leaves feedback directly on the waveform and leaving comments exactly on what should be fixed and where. And after they send that review back to the artist can then leave feedback for the reviewer, letting them know how useful that their advice was. So the idea is that it's a two-way street. The artist provides their music for review, and the reviewer then gets feedback on how useful their review was. So like I mentioned, we currently do have a functioning web application as well as a mobile and iPad app in development. So in terms of technology we've used AWS and Dropbox for our storage, for cloud storage, and also Heroku as a cloud server. At the heart of what we're building is a reputation and recommendation engine, which is all about connecting the artist with the right reviewer for their music. Someone who actually understands the genre they're writing for, understands the influences, but also understands what they're trying to do with their music as well. As part of this, you can also render a waveform and also make notations directly on there. In terms of the market, the EDM marketplace, electronic music, is worth $4 billion globally, with about 1.5 million registered users on many popular software currently writing music. As well as with the rise of iPad producers, there's a whole shit ton of people writing music, electronic music nowadays. So, as part of our market validation process, we spoke to quite a few different people. We originally started off with some one-on-one surveys, interviews with some professional producers and some emerging artists, and followed that with a whole bunch of surveys this today. The feedback was overwhelmingly, yes, we would use this service. As a matter of fact, we've actually got 2 professional producers who've actually agreed to sign on. These are 2 ARIA award-winning producers, Manuel Shara and Samir Gupta, and also Alex McKenzie, a local DJ and producer who's actually agreed to upload some music to the service. In terms of our business model, it's pretty simple. The reviewer sets the price, it's 15% of each review. We take a clip off and $35 average price per review. We expect to be profitable within 17 months based on our initial projections. I won't go on too much of the marketing plan. Safe to say, we're avoiding too much above-the-line advertising and focusing on inbound marketing. We've got aggressive plans for development in the future, including expanding to other genres, art forms, and a marketplace with a premium subscription. In a nutshell, we've got a platform, we have a plan to bring on reviewers, and we need your help to do it. So if you want to find out about music, speak to us.